Once upon a time, in a quiet little town, there was a strange man named Mad Henry. He lived alone in a broken old house at the edge of town. People whispered many scary stories about him. Some said he used dark magic to bring bad luck to others. Others believed he could bring dead people back to life. No one in town dared to go near him. One year, a new family moved to town. They had a daughter named Rachel. She was beautiful, kind, and full of joy. When Mad Henry saw her, he became obsessed. He started giving her expensive gifts, golden cups, pearl necklaces, and a pot of magical flowers that never wilted. But Rachel did not love him. Her heart belonged to a young man named Jeffrey, who had just returned from university. Rachel and Jeffrey quickly fell in love. Within a week, they ran away and got married in secret. When they came back, they were happy and excited to start their new life. To celebrate, they threw a big party and invited everyone in town. That night, the music played, and people danced with joy. Rachel twirled across the dance floor with her father, laughing. But suddenly, thunder rumbled and lightning flashed in the sky. The doors burst open and a terrible smell filled the air. Everyone froze in fear. Mad Henry stood in the doorway, his red eyes glowing with anger. Behind him, the dead marched in, walking corpses with glowing blue eyes. The crowd screamed as the army of the dead surrounded them. Two of the corpses grabbed Jeffrey and threw him to the ground before Mad Henry. Without a word, Mad Henry pulled out a silver knife. Before anyone could stop him, he slashed Jeffrey's throat from ear to ear. Rachel screamed and rushed to her dying husband, tears streaming down her face. "Kill us both!" she cried desperately. But Mad Henry did not listen. He lifted Rachel into his arms and carried her out into the stormy night. Behind him, the army of the dead turned and followed, disappearing into the darkness. The townspeople were horrified. Rachel's father and Jeffrey's father gathered a group of men and chased after Mad Henry, hoping to save her. They searched his house, but it was empty. The only thing they found was a strange, eerie light floating near the ceiling. Mad Henry was gone. For days, search parties looked for Rachel, but she was nowhere to be found. Jeffrey was buried in the town cemetery, and the dance hall was torn down. People tried to forget what had happened. No one spoke of that terrible night, and no one dared to imagine what had become of poor Rachel. A year later, on the same night as the party, there was a soft knock at Rachel's parents' door. When her father opened it, he gasped. Standing there was Rachel, but she was no longer the bright and happy girl they once knew. She was thin, pale, and weak. Her eyes were dull with pain and exhaustion. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Her tongue had been cut out. Slowly, she reached into her tattered clothes and pulled out something. It was a silver knife covered in dried blood. It was the same knife Mad Henry had used to kill Jeffrey. The look in Rachel's eyes told them everything. She had found Mad Henry, and she had made sure he would never hurt anyone again. That night, Rachel lay down to sleep. When morning came, she was gone. But for the first time in a year, there was peace on her face. A gentle smile rested on her lips, as if she had finally found rest. And from that day on, no one ever saw or heard of Mad Henry again.